everybody. It is Victory here again with the CUNYAC Chronicles. Today, I am with Coach Hugh Reid and Coach and Rico from Medgar Evers. Just to reintroduce yourselves, Coach Reid, if you could please just reintroduce yourself, what you do, and the school you're currently at. And then Rico, once he's done, please just list your name, your school, and the events that you do in track.
Hi, I'm Coach Hugh Reid. I'm the head coach, men's and women's cross country track and field for Medgar Evers College.
Okay. I'm Rico. The events I do is just the 100. That's all I do. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you guys. Rico, if you could just talk about how you first discovered track and field and what made you want to pursue it at the collegiate level in the US.
Um, so it all started when I was younger, I grew up in Barbados. So growing up in Barbados, I have a family around track and field. A lot of my cousins was doing track. So it was just a sense of sometimes I just watch, the big track meets like the Olympics and the World Championships, watching Usain Bolt break the records, that was some highlights. So that made me get into it. So I say my last year of primary school is when I started to mainly started to do track. And around 2014 is when I started to like train seriously. So it was just I say from like 2010, it was when I started to actually get into track more efficiently.
And then also what made you want to pursue it here, like in the US, in the college level, in the NCAA.
Um, I guess my story is kind of different as it wasn't set in stone that I was gonna come to school, but I had the opportunity to. So, coach was coaching me before I started school, and he's telling me that it could be an opportunity for me to come to school and be able to train better, go to meet. So I took the opportunity to come collegiately to compete with my gappers.
Oh, cool. That's a great story. So Rico, this year's outdoor season was quite the journey for you because you went from being an individual champion at the CUNYAC Conference Championships to the regionals at the Atlantic Trials, and then all the way to the NCAA D3 National Championships. So how did you manage to stay grounded through it all? Going from, you know, conference championships to regionals to nationals. How did you manage to stay grounded?
It all started with my recovery process. I think I was, recovering properly than last year. Um, I was just trying to stay motivated. I just, my first race of the season was a very huge personal best for me. It was a big accomplishment. So that kind of made me like, okay, this year's going to be a great year. So let me just take everything in stride and everything just progressed smoothly as I was just able to, recover better and just focus on track a little bit more than anything else.
Yeah, it's always good to stay motivated. Okay, so this next question is for both of you. Either you can go first. Can you tell me of your first reaction upon hearing Rico is going to the national championships in Wisconsin?
Well, for me, I was excited, but it was. I'm not gonna be a thing, but from the first time around, I was like, yeah, it's a no-brainer because I put the work in through the whole season to fall and indoors was just like a stepping stone for me to get my start better for outdoors. So I just after the first meet, the confidence that was there, and I already knew that I'm gonna make it because I just put down pretty fast time.
Well, a little different in that the initial time I was just it was fast, so I knew it was a good chance that he was going to stay in the top number of people. But anything is possible, and with just like with the 200 and the other events, each week you start to see somebody may step in, but then you see differences like the wind and so forth. So it was just like relief I guess at the end. I knew we were going. It was just great to see it officially posted, and yeah, that was pretty much it.
I have to say, honestly, seeing that entire weekend and, seeing the numbers being posted, I had my fingers crossed. I was like, I'm hoping Rico makes it. And then finally getting that confirmation that you made it was incredible to say the least. I know you were excited. Obviously, Coach Hugh was obviously also excited to see, but to, see it from also from like an outsider's perspective, doing the coverage, it was really great to see another CUNYAC athlete make it all the way back to the national championships. So, Rico, this next question, back to you. You qualified for the 100 meter and 200-meter races at the national championships, eventually placing sixth in the 100-meter final and then 18th overall in the 200-meter rankings. Can you just talk more about what that experience was like for you at the national championships, racing against all of those incredible athletes, and then also being one of the, only CUNYAC athletes, and then being the sole Medgar representation athlete for our conference at the national championships?
Um, I say it was a fun experience actually going to compete. I say the most nervous part was the prelims for the 100 finals. But after made finals, everything was just stress free. You know, even though I feel I could have executed a little bit better in the race, I still ran like zero point 0.1 off of my personal best, so it wasn't a bad race per se. So I say it was a very great experience, especially on the last day. I get to sit down and just watch a couple races before my race, and the overall experience was very very nice. It has very nice facilities at the school.
That's good. And then also like, racing against the other athletes that were there, and then being again, the CUNYAC representation for us at the national championships.
The competition, it was very fierce. They all come there to compete to be an All-American, or well, to be a national champion. So, running against some people I saw before, seeing the new people, it was all, a great experience for me per se. As I love competition. Sometimes I like to be humble a little bit. So I'd say per se, like it was a humble experience running against some of the best in Detroit, and hopefully, well, I'm gonna say hopefully next year I'll be doing it again.
Love the confidence, and of course, we're all hoping that you'll be back at the national championships next year. Coach Hugh, this next question is for you in a similar vein. How did it
Mhm.
feel being able to send another athlete to the national championships and then also watching Rico perform at the championships?
Well, I think it was a really great feeling. It's weird because um, they all have um, similar drives, right? Like they all want to go and be the best and they all want to dominate. They were all different. This one, I think, for the first time, with that one, well, I should say first time, but in a while, that 1-2 combination, expectations were higher, I think, for Rico in in his events because he was ranked so high. I mean, like Thierry was ranked like one of the top in the country, so I sort of knew he was going to make that final indoors. But when you get outdoors, like Rico said, the competition is all over the place. You had kids that were running like 10-1. You had people that had run like the second fastest time in division history. And so when you see the heats, it's like, oh, okay, this is going to be a tough heat. And after that, I think for me, I was just proud of the fact that he set a goal, he was able to attain that goal, and he did it like right off the back. Like it wasn't something that, was prolonged. I think it was something that he set out to achieve. He knew what the standard was or what the cutoff would be. He surpassed that. And then it was just a matter of trying to perfect and get everything ready for nationals. So I was excited to get back to nationals. I felt like we had something to prove as a conference. Um, and not just as a conference, but like he had something to prove to himself in terms of being mentally prepared and being able to sustain at that high level. So to see him go through, the conference level, the regional level, and then get to the national level, I was very pleased because I knew when he got there, like he was going to perform.
And I have to say, I mean, honestly, I watching you again, during that entire weekend, Rico, you handled yourself with such confidence and you really knew like you had such confidence in yourself that, despite going up some against the best athletes in the country, you deserved to totally to be there. And you handled yourself with a lot of grace. So again, congratulations for doing that. That amazing to see another, again, CUNYAC athlete represented at the national championships. Okay, so this next question is back to you, Rico. What do you plan on doing once you graduate, and do you have any plans of continuing sports in the future? Because you are a sophomore, so again, like we hope to see you again at the national championships, but in the future, graduation and then continuing sports in the future. What's your plans?
Um, I really can't say per se as I don't know what the future is gonna hold. All I have is right now, and even though so I have a couple more meets coming up. So I think I'm just gonna focus on those meets that I have coming up rather than just focus on what's gonna happen in 2 years because I don't know what's gonna happen in 2 years. But all I know before I leave Medgar Evers is I'm gonna be a national champion. That's all I know.
It's a great answer. Got to take it day by day, and we believe in you. You're totally going to be a national champion. Sorry. Do you guys have any final words for the audience? Coach, you maybe for your former athletes, Rico, maybe to anybody who out there who might be watching this.
All I have to say is I have to give a shout out to my to our one of our assistant well, both our assistant coaches, Aaron and Keyshawn, without them and Coach Shield, then I won't be in the position I will be in that now. So I gotta give thanks to both of them. Mainly Keyshawn just a little bit as he was, help me prepare my body to able to run the 10 tree. It was him. It was I would say it was him per se. Helped me get my muscles loosened up, and without him, I don't think I'll be able to achieve that what I achieve. So I just want to give a big thanks to my trainer coaches.
I just want to say, like, you got to dream big sometimes. And what's big to some people is normal size to other people. And that's when you start to really see who's gonna rise to the top. Um, I think that like Rico, like any of the other students in the conference, like any of the other students at McGavers, if you believe that you can do something and you put your mind to it and you work hard enough, it can be achieved. The conference is not beneath the rest of the NCAA. It's some like it was good to hear people saying no one's been back here and calling for his name and supporting him and talking about how, it's like a resurgence. And I think that, when with the right combination of athletes, training, mindset, we can have not just Rico, but Rico and other people achieve this and bring the conference some prominence.
Great final words for both of you. Rico, once again, congratulations. Sixth fastest man in NCAA D3 100 meters. Coach Yu, thank you again for coming back. And thank you for everyone at home who's watching this. This has been Victory Okanaya with the CUNYAC Chronicles, and we will see you later.